Now, back to AB Sports Conversation with Anthony Carlo and Benzino the Hero.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here.
Back at AB Conversation, Anthony Carlo. I am Benzino the Hero. The Hero.
Don't ever mistake it.
Don't mistake it, man.
He will be your hero.
Benzino the Hero.
He'll be my
That I
hero.
am.
He will always be our hero.
Yes. And Anthony Carlo is our A. Benzino the Hero is the B.
But what are the K? How about that one? What's the K in the equation?
The K.
The K.
AB Conversation.
Okay.
You
You
spell
know
it with a C.
How about the New York Knicks?
All right.
How about the New York
yeah,
Knicks?
man.
I mean,
We out here.
They do begin with a K. Do you get me wrong?
I don't get you wrong because you are right.
You get me right. Okay. So the New York Knicks and their valiant effort at the final spot in the playoff seeding.
They're surging.
Well, could we call it surging?
They're climbing.
They're
almost at the top of the bottom.
I don't think anything. I think that the New York Knicks are the most confusing team in the NBA. Can I make that statement?
Yes.
Can I make that statement? You
Yes.
know why? We know the Sixers lose. We know the Bucks lose. Do we know what the Knicks do? No,
Not
we
at
don't
all.
know it because they play to their competition.
Yes.
They play up to winners and they play down to losers.
Before last week, you said the Knicks were going on a road trip. Let's give you a recap on that. They won against the Sacramento Kings. J.R. Smith setting a franchise record, making 9 threes. But the next game, they lose against the Los Angeles Lakers in third quarter, giving up 51 points to the Los Angeles Lakers, and they ultimately lost the game. Next game, Goran Dragic goes off. He plays for the Phoenix Suns, and the Knicks lose to the Phoenix Suns. But last night, the Knicks get it done against the Golden State Warriors. They hold off the Warriors, and they get the win. And Anthony said the Knicks are now 1 game behind the Atlanta Hawks. But the Atlanta Hawks are on a 6-game losing streak. Good for the Knicks. But the Knicks are 1 game behind the Hawks now for the 8th spot.
So the New York Knicks may have the ability to be in the postseason for the NBA this year.
Yes.
I want to say that yesterday's game against Golden State was a huge win.
Yes.
Because not only did they beat a team that is a good team in the Golden State Warriors.
Arguably a nice up-and-coming team, yep.
Yes, led by Steph Curry, arguably the best shooter in the league.
Arguably.
They beat a team in a crucial moment like that. So we know that the Knicks can do that. But what happened yesterday that may be a little interesting in that game? Do you know what I'm talking about? Steph Curry chose to pass the ball at the end of the game when he had the opportunity to take the three. Or I should say take the shot to
I don't know why Steph Curry would do that. If you're Steph Curry, quote-unquote, the face of the franchise, you got to take that shot.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. I don't think anybody should hate on that. Because you know what? A lot of teams have a problem with their best player hogging the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Pacers. Roy Hibbert comes out and he talks about his issues. He called them dudes rude. No, what did he say? Not rude. He called them selfish.
Selfish.
Them dudes are selfish.
Selfish.
That's what Roy Hibbert said.
But Roy Hibbert's not.
Them dudes. The dudes around him on that team. The dudes around Roy Hibbert.
The boys in the locker room.
The boys in the hood. No.
What? What?
The dudes on that court that play in yellow for Indiana are selfish. He said that.
But you wouldn't want Roy Hibbert.
Paul George, he's aiming at Paul George. That's what he's doing.
Yep.
Paul George is not God. He
No.
misses.
Yes.
And he takes a lot of shots.
Yes, he does.
So what does that equal?
Not a good outlook for the teammates. And they're losing. You're quote-unquote. No, he is the face of Indiana basketball. So I'm saying when another person's on that team.
But them dudes they're having trouble with that.
I don't know. But would you have Roy Hibbert in the crucial seconds shoot a 3 when they're down by 2?
What does that have to do with it, though?
What? If he wants the ball then?
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is Paul George versus Steph Curry. Maybe Paul George would have taken that shot. Maybe he would have gotten it in.
Yeah.
And maybe the Knicks would have lost. Steph Curry could have easily taken that shot. Maybe the Knicks would have lost. But you know what? At least the Golden State Warriors in that situation didn't have to deal with a ball hog.
As in Paul George.
Steph Curry didn't take the shot.
No.
Golden State lost. Nothing was guaranteed if he did, but the rule of thumb is in the NBA, if you're down to the last play, your best player shoots.
Yes.
But you know what? I still will not hate on Steph Curry. I don't think anybody's doing that. I think they might be just confused.
Just confusing. Otherwise, the Knicks play the Utah Jazz tonight, and if they win, they will be tied with the Atlanta Hawks for the 8th spot. So go Knicks. They're playing in Utah. But the Nets, they play the Nets on Wednesday, and the Nets are on a 13-game win streak at the Barclay.
The Nets are a good team.
Yes.
The Nets are good. Okay, I'll say it again. They may not have the best talent in the NBA, but they're good.
They're good. They have
Play well with the team.
perennial All-Stars on the team, former All-Stars.
I want to say something, though, about the Jazz tonight.
Okay.
The Knicks will be taking on the Jazz.
Yes.
They could win. They could.
It's hard to play in Utah.
But the Jazz are bad.
Yes, they're 15th in the conference, in the Western Conference.
They're horrible.
Yes.
They're horrible.
So are
that's
you
why
predicting a win?
I say they could win because of the state of the Knicks this year. They beat the best teams, and then they lose to the worst teams.
So Anthony's alluding to the fact playing down to the competition.
Exactly.
The Knicks might do that tonight.
Exactly. Can they afford to? Not really. But this season for the Knicks is not coming down to what they can afford to do and what they can't afford to do.
Yes.
You know what it's coming down to? It's coming down to a circus.
Circus.
Whatever happens, happens.
Yes.
If the Knicks make the playoffs, it's going to be on a stroke of luck.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be because they won a game they couldn't afford to lose.
And Atlanta's losing 6 straight. That also helps them.
Yeah. And it's not going to be because the craziest things have happened to this team this year.
Yes.
They've beaten opponents that we wouldn't even dream of them beating, and they've lost to opponents that we wouldn't have dreamt them losing to.
Win streaks, losing streaks.
So it's just going to be, But anyway, go ahead.
Continue with the word streaks. The San Antonio Spurs are looking to continue their winning streak at 18 tonight against Indiana.
I'm looking forward to that game.
Indiana has been playing down to, as Anthony said earlier, a bunch of selfish dudes on that team. Will the dudes be selfish tonight as in Indiana? I don't know, but hopefully the Spurs get the win. 18 wins in a row, that's pretty impressive if they get it done.
I think that the only thing about the problems there's a problem in Indiana. The thing is when you look at this, what do they become? If you look at this team, they're 2-5 in the last 7 games.
Okay.
They're 2-5 in the last 7. They lost to the Cavs.
Okay.
The Cavs.
Cleveland, yep.
They shouldn't lose to the Cavs.
No.
They beat teams like the Heat.
Yes.
Can I make a proposal to you that the Pacers have become too concerned with beating the Heat this year that they've forgotten they have to worry about other teams in the league and win games they should win?
They have to worry about themselves internally as well because Indiana, they are the 1 seed so far. But the Heat are only a game behind Indiana, right. So the Heat can easily take the 1 spot away from Indiana.
Easily, yeah, of course. But listen to me. The Pacers have the fewest. They're in the third. They're in the top three of fewest assists in the league. Okay, they're
them dudes selfish.
Yeah, them dudes selfish. They're third fewest in assists.
Okay.
Do you see a crumbling of an empire about that? Well, I shouldn't say an empire.
They're not an empire.
They're not. The Heat are. Would you say a crumbling of a contender, of the number 1 contender? Rocky 3, right? Rocky 3.
Okay, Rocky 3.
Clubber Lang, Mr. T, better known as Mr. T. He wanted Rocky.
Okay.
Rocky was a champ. Rocky was beating up on his opponents, but he was not strong because Rocky was defending the belt against weak opponents.
Okay.
The Heat are not necessarily doing that, but they're similar to that because they're not a monster anymore. I don't consider the Heat a monster.
Not anymore?
Not because they're not proven to win every game.
Alrighty.
They've showed they can't. The Pacers are the number 1 contender. They've said it. They want to dethrone the Heat. Clubber Lang said it. He wanted to dethrone Rocky. The Pacers may be a number 1 contender that has a big flaw.
And that's themselves, or?
Clubber Lang had a big flaw. He had a big mouth.
Okay.
The Pacers' big flaw is the fact they don't spread the wealth.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pass the ball. They don't have assists. They don't have assists.
Yes.
You can't win that way because if Paul George goes cold, you lose.
Yes, that is true. And that's been proven true in games this year.
Exactly.
With the NBA, we have to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. They won a game. The Philadelphia 76ers won a game. The last time the Philadelphia 76ers won a game was January 29th against the Celtics. they snap a 26 game losing streak. And if you're the Detroit Pistons, which they played to snap the streak, the Sixers did not win by 4 points. It wasn't a close game. They blew Detroit out the stadium.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were on the verge of making history.
They were.
They were gonna beat the Cavs. I think at the Cavaliers have had
Cavaliers
the 26 long
2010-2011 season.
Yes, had the 26 game losing streak, and the Sixers were about to break that record. But as you said, they ended that streak. I think everybody wanted to see them break the record.
Yes.
They wanted to see them lose number 27. You know why? Because it was fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're a professional athlete, losing 26 games,
that's not fun.
That's not fun. So to win one game out of 26, whoop-de-doo. Congratulations, Philadelphia 76ers, and continue with streaking. And our final thing about streaking on this episode, in this segment,
me taking my clothes off and running
not
through the hallways.
No. We have Kevin Durant's streak, 38 straight games with 25 or more points. Two more.
Slim Reaper. He has 2 more games to tie Michael Jordan's 25 or more consecutive streak. Ooh, that's a nice little star on the wall.
So let's stop streaking and get into our next segment on AB Conversation. That will be the NCAA tournament, what happened in the Elite Eight. So for Benzino the Hero, Anthony Caro, please stay tuned to AB Conversation. We will be right back, so come back.